Welcome to Mueller Time. This is episode 23.
Well, good evening. We're up to 23, right?
23. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good about that.
Okay.
We'd like to first start off by well, always laughing at the beginning without fail. We'd like to wish a happy birthday to Mr. Robert Mueller.
Oh, that's right. It was his birthday this weekend.
We just missed it because it was right after we taped the other show. He turned 74 years old.
He's getting up there.
Yeah, well, but the man is... Tell me the man's not... You know, they do those things about Chuck Norris. You know, Chuck Norris is tough. You know who's tough? Robert Mueller.
I don't think he actually celebrated his birthday. What do you think?
Well, I think I was thinking about that. I can picture him, honestly, the guy took 1 hour, not even an hour. I can picture him late at night in some office, you know, blowing out the candle and then getting back to work.
He strikes me as a guy that does not care about birthdays.
Well, he's a very serious man. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure he's got a wife and a family. I'm sure they want to celebrate.
Okay.
But I really kind of enjoyed thinking about that. I really think the guy took just a moment for himself alone and then went back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So the Paul Manafort trial, the prosecution rested.
They did.
Yep.
Did that happen today, or something happened on Friday where they had a meeting at the bench and it was shut down for like an hour?
Well, we have...
And there's transcripts that no one can see?
We have a problem in this case. Have you been reading about this judge?
Tell me.
So Judge T.S. Ellis, I don't know what's going on with this guy, but there's something wrong with this guy. He's been unbelievably harsh on the prosecution. He's mocked them. Mm-hmm. He's asked his own questions at times, which I didn't even know a judge could do that. He's telling them to speed it up. We don't need this right now.
Now, did he disallow all the photos of like the ostrich jackets?
Yeah, he said he kind of was backing up Paul Manafort, like there's nothing wrong with being rich. Like,
yeah, well, one of the reasonings I heard on the news was that once it's established that he spent this money on clothing, it doesn't matter if it's from Pick and Save or it's from Gucci. It's the fact that he spent money that shouldn't have been spent. So it doesn't actually matter what it was spent on.
Right.
So, well, that's kind of a benefit to the defendant.
Yeah. The case is extremely strong, but like I said, we're in one of these situations right now where all of us, from Robert Mueller down to you and I, to every American, there can't be any mistakes.
No, we can't.
Everyone has to, it's like, use whatever sports analogy you want. Mm-hmm. We all have to pitch the perfect game. And we don't need this judge, whatever the heck is going on with this guy. Mm-hmm. Luckily, the case is strong. It's a paper case. So I guess the defense is they have a couple days to call whatever witness they want, and then I think this thing's going to be wrapped up.
Did I hear on Rachel Maddow earlier this evening that they might not even call any witnesses for the defense?
Yeah, we have no idea.
Yeah. I can't imagine Manafort's going to be stupid enough to go in the box.
There's a great article in the New York Times today on it's just called The Rise and Fall of Paul Manafort. I don't know if you saw that, but
I missed that one.
I put it up on, if you guys get a chance, It's on the Mueller Time Facebook page.
All right.
And it's really good. It opens with him getting these unbelievably expensive Yankee tickets, mm-hmm. and just how he basically, he overextended himself. The guy's, his finances are unbelievable.
Well, yeah, he really wanted to live the lifestyle of the rich and famous. He has sold out his country to try to do it.
Yeah, they go back and talk to people he went to Georgetown with, and they remember him as a highly intelligent, ambitious person who.
I mean, look, I've never had money, so I don't really understand. But once you're loaded, I mean, come on, you're rich. Yeah, but he wants to be even more rich. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I also think we'd have to know more about them, and you'd have to talk to the people who know them. But basically, these guys I think they enjoy they're gangsters. Mm-hmm. They're criminals. They like it.
They like their greed.
They chose that life, like Tony Soprano. I mean, if you watch that, if you were a fan of the show, he all but said it. I am a gangster.
How can we use to make whole?
How can we use to make whole? Yeah. So we got to the 1 year anniversary of Charlottesville.
Oh, yeah. I was glued to the TV all weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was glued to the Twitter machine all weekend also.
Yeah. Yeah. Just in a presidency of nonstop low points, you think that'll be in the top 5 or?
Well, you mean this weekend's Unite the Right 2?
The first one.
The first one's definitely going to be in like the top 3 of the most horrifying incidents of the Trump era.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. This weekend, no. The different story.
Yeah.
Well, okay, one thing that's really people aren't really giving credit to. Now, in the years since Charlottesville, look at all the participants from the Unite the Right rally of 2017 that were outed and lost their jobs and lost their standings in society. Fast forward to 2018, and 25 of them showed up this time.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about the people of this country demanding, like, we're not going to tolerate this.
There's a lesson there, and the power of when social media can be good. Obviously, we've all learned about the bad parts, but yes, if you are in a public sphere as a Nazi, there's nothing wrong with someone using their own sleuthing to find out who you are. If you're intimidating people and they killed a woman. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna put your picture up there. We're gonna find out who you are, and then we'll let things take their course.
I mean, because they had plenty more than 25 in Charlottesville in 2017, and they had maybe it was 30 that they got to DC with what's the Jason Kessler?
Jason Kessler, yeah,
jerk.
Let's reiterate what Charlottesville, for one night in this country, Nazis took over a major American city. They for one night they controlled that city. There was no police. There was no nothing. That's insane.
Something else I saw pointed out by a few different Twitter accounts this weekend was the police protection given to the Unite the Right 2 rally holders as they were getting off the subway and marching to the park. They had full-on police protection, and that was contrasted to the protesters in Ferguson a few years ago who were attacked by the police.
Yeah. I was thinking about that, actually. I was thinking, what... Okay, I understand that our tax dollars go for police protection, but why do they get, they got their own subway car? I think there's an argument to be made in court somewhere that if you require that level of protection, that you should have to pay for it.
Correct.
If one of us gets, we live in Hollywood, if one of us gets lost up in the hills somewhere because we are totally irresponsible hiking and there's a helicopter rescue, we can be billed for that.
Yes, but you don't have a constitutional right to hike in the Hollywood Hills, where you do have a constitutional right to say whatever the hell you want.
I think you make a great point. I think this could definitely go in front of some kind of court, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your own subway car. Imagine what the bill was to the taxpayer for these 25 losers.
Correct.
I mean, that is just crazy.
Yeah, well, who do they bill? Who does the bill go to?
Yeah, us. Yeah, like Trump's golf carts and all this other... I would love to know when they total it up. I just want to see that number, all the money that he spent.
Those numbers pop up on Twitter all the time. I know whenever similar numbers like how much money has been spent on golf cart rentals at Trump properties since Trump's been president. Kyle Griffin on Twitter always has numbers like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So moving on. Roger Stone's time is coming. I think.
Yes,
don't you think so?
Oh wow, I can't wait till he gets that indictment because he's not going to volunteer. He's not going to go easily, and he's going to try to flee if he gets indicted. He's the guy that's going to run.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. A slow speed Bronco chase with Roger Stone all day on all the cable networks. That would be awesome.
Where's he going to go? I mean, to the west side from the east side of New York. I mean, where?
Will they let him into a Russian embassy?
Somebody asked me on the Mueller Time Facebook page, do you think this will end with Trump taking off in a plane? And I said, as crazy as you think that is, did you think any of this was going to happen?
I'm not going to say that's out of the question.
I mean, they've taken all kinds of people over there. You just said something that now I lost my train of thought. But
people fleeing?
Oh, no, it was about Roger Stone. His time is coming, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, his associates now are. Someone's getting indicted this week. I
remember.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you. At Politicon, so as I recall, did you ask Roger Stone if we could interview him?
No, but I did have a run-in with Roger Stone and his security detail.
You did, yeah. What happened?
Well, you and I were separated at the moment. I can't remember what you went off to do. But Roger Stone and his security detail come through the lobby going towards the convention floor. And I get like a full-on, we're on podcasts without cameras. I get a full-on stiff arm, like, get out of the way. They didn't actually say get out of the way. But I was not going to say violently pushed, but I was definitely physically moved out of Roger Stone's way.
Shoot, I mean, I guess I knew that happened, but shoot, we should have grabbed the cops. I mean,
well, no.
can't touch someone like that.
I am not going to say that it was worthy of police attention.
Like that one like right-wing guy who like Maxine Waters brushed her hand against him and he was screaming. Remember that assault?
Oh, well, how about when Ben Shapiro was on with Zoe Tur on Headline News and, he just put his hand on Benji's shoulder and Benji was threatening legal action afterwards on Twitter.
Wow. I mean, that's like I've been saying, a lot of these right guys, it's all about their issues with women.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we could just get them some kind of help so they could maybe do better in that aspect of their life, we wouldn't have a lot of these problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, Roger Stone, I mean, you don't have to be an expert on Mueller to know the walls are closing in.
Yes.
Sam Nunberg is one of his right-hand men. He was interviewed by Mueller. He's on TV every day. This other guy, Andrew Miller, refused to talk to Mueller.
That's the guy that I was thinking of. He's getting indicted this week from what I'm hearing.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. No, I mean, that's going to go down.
Why would he think that he doesn't have to talk to Mueller?
They all think they're above the law.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I don't get, you want to sit in a jail cell till this is all over? Because that's what they're going to do.
Maybe they're banking on Trump pardoning him. I don't know. Is Andrew Miller famous enough to get pardoned by Trump?
I didn't know who the guy was.
Roger Stone, I'm sure is.
Yeah, it's possible. And then there's a third guy. Who's that other guy they interviewed?
Credico?
Oh, yeah.
Randy Credico? What's his story?
He is
Do I need to Google him up?
So, no, unfortunately, I'm far too knowledgeable about this. So Randy Credico is a New York kind of stand-up comic. Just
He's from that world.
Just a character that only could be in this Trump debacle.
Okay, you're totally going to know this dude's story. Keep going.
He's a stand-up comic activist. He's actually a very left-wing activist, which I think is how he got involved with Julian Assange. And but he's just this guy who, I mean, he doesn't come off to me like a dishonest guy. Like he goes on TV, he says he's going to talk to Mueller. He's just. I don't think he's like any kind of target. He's just a part of this. Now,
did Roger Stone say that Randy Credico's the guy that was passing information to Julian Assange?
Randy Credico is Julian. What they say is he's Julian Assange's contact in this country. Okay. Like he would go visit Julian Assange, come back and tell Roger.
He would go to his little Ecuador balcony in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like Shea Julian. He's like a middleman.
Okay.
So basically, he's
his contact. He's the man.
Yeah.
He knows things.
So they said that he's been, well, the thing is they said Credico has been subpoenaed for September 7th.
Okay.
So I would assume you wouldn't indict Roger Stone before that, but I don't know how these things work.
But Giuliani says it's going to be all over by September 1st.
So I didn't put this, I'm not going to play this clip, but you can go online and find it. It wasn't worth this podcast time, but Giuliani and Jay Sekulow, who's the other fake TV lawyer, they did a radio show. They did a call-in radio show where they talk about their strategy. You can find it on YouTube. And these fucking like douchebag callers call in. This is so crazy. They're calling in saying, yeah, you should do it like this. Like interactively.
They have no idea. And yeah, their audience has no idea how the law actually works. Okay, so you're talking about Jay Sekulow. Hey, he has his own radio show that he does every day. And I know they did a show with Giuliani last week, the one you're talking about. But also last week, the two of them were guest hosts for Sean Hannity's radio show one day.
Right.
Now, that just everything is big, giant conflict of interest, but that's even, I don't even know how to describe that one because Sean Hannity, as we've learned, is not really a journalist. He's part of Trump State TV. They shared the lawyer and Michael Cohen, and now Trump's current lawyers are coming on his show to give their propaganda. How is that? Now, this is on radio. How is that within FCC regulations?
Well, I think that thing where they worked together, where they were taking calls, I think that was when they took over Hannity's show.
No, they did two things because Jay Sekulow has his own daily radio show, and I see his tweets every day. And the show you're talking about,
actually, because I heard that
they made news when Giuliani did his show earlier in the week, and then it was either Thursday or Friday that the two of them did Hannity's show without Hannity. They just took over the show.
Yeah.
Now, Hannity being on AM radio on the airwaves, he is under FCC jurisdiction. Are all the equal time laws out the window these days? And I know that equal time laws are on the airwaves, not necessarily on cable TV because that's not the airwaves, but on broadcast television, broadcast radio.
Is that fairness doctrine still a thing?
That's what I'm speaking of. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anyone enforces any of that stuff.
Well, who would enforce it though?
But
Ajit Podge, or however that head of the FCC. That's who would have to enforce it. Who's Trump's boy?
I thought with that fairness doctrine that they were like got rid of that or something. Is that still a thing?
Okay, you know what? You might be right. That could have been thrown out the window.
We'll look that up later.
Yeah,
it'd be nice if anybody wants to work as attend our podcast as a free researcher. We need an intern like Seinfeld.
Can we use Siri?
No, because the problem is like that's why you need someone else. Because the minute we stop talking, people stop listening.
Yeah,
the podcast is over.
We need a research assistant, a live research assistant.
Anyway, so these guys like Giuliani and him, they're literally doing this fucking show. Like, I mean, it was, hey, first time, long time. Hey, Mike from Long Island, how do you think we should, save the president? I mean, what?
When are you going to arrest Hillary?
Yeah. By the way, I got on YouTube when I was looking for that, and I found that Jay Sekulow is actually a pretty talented musician.
Oh, is he? I didn't know this.
The first thing when you type in on YouTube, when you type in Jay Sekulow, so it autofilled Jay Sekulow band, and I was like, I got to see this.
Oh, I had no idea. That's the first thing I'm looking up when we're done.
So then I'm looking it up, and I'm like, I'm going to pull these clips and goof on them. But there was nothing to goof on because, first of all, most of them are covers, so there was nothing. But, I mean, he's a good drummer.
Oh, he's the drummer.
He's a drummer.
All right.
But it's funny because you could tell, basically, there's actual musicians in there I've heard of. What you can tell is that he probably throws money at all these guys to just show up.
So you're saying he's got, like, proper famous musicians playing with him, or at least real talented pros.
He had John Elefante, I think his name is, who was one of the singers in Kansas.
Okay.
Like we're not talking about like household names, but people who have made a career.
Yeah.
There was some guy from that huge prog rock band in Canada from back when, not Rush, but like
prog rock.
Some other Petra. I think it was Petra.
There was a Petra. I don't know if they were from Canada, but okay. They might have been. All right.
Anyway, so that, I was like, wow, this guy, if he wasn't such like an asshole,
Okay, I brought this up a few weeks ago. I'm going to bring it up again. When this all eventually goes to some sort of trial, whether it's the Supreme Court or not, is Sekulow and Giuliani going to be in court representing Donald Trump?
Neither of them are actually real lawyers, so I don't...
No, they're not. They're fake TV lawyers.
Well, do you know what Jay Sekulow actually, and I'm addressing this to the podcast as well, do you know what his specialty is?
Doesn't he just raise money for crazy Christians?
Well, yes, that too, but he's a specialist in... They're trying to overturn Roe v. Wade. That's his entire practice. That's what he's an expert on. Law is like everything else. You have...
so I was right.
Basically. Yeah. Well, law is like everything else, right? You have a specialty.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know anything about this stuff. Literally. All he knows is about how to overturn Roe v. Wade. That's it, man.
No, he hasn't done it yet.
And speaking of what you said, Jay Sekulow raises money for his things in these shady-ass boiler rooms. They have these kids calling around. Swear to God. And then Jay Sekulow keeps a cut of this shit.
Of course he does.
Yeah, there was an article somewhere. I read this a while ago.
They're all so dirty.
And those political boiler rooms are in every city in America, and they raise money not just for guys like him.
He keeps money meant for Jesus? Oh, that's bad.
That's a good one. So moving on, there was... did you see Michael Avenati's speech in Iowa?
Presidential candidate Michael Avenati?
Yeah, I'm going to play this speech. First of all, it's a great speech.
I didn't hear the speech, so I'm looking forward to hearing this.
It's too long to play the whole thing. It's an excellent speech.
Okay.
I just want to play this, and then for anyone who's listening, just think about whether you like Avenatti or not as a candidate. Think about what he's saying here with this strategy and whether it makes any sense to you.
Tonight, however, I want to suggest a different course. I believe that our party, the Democratic Party, must be a party that fights fire with fire. I believe that we can no longer be the party that turns the other cheek. We must be the party that marshals the power of law and government to strike back at those that strike our cheek and to bring those to justice. When they go low, I say, we hit harder.
Yeah, I mean,
I read that quote. I heard that quote. Yes.
I mean, what do you think about that?
Okay, I don't know what to think of Michael Avenatti anymore. He's a talented guy. He sounds great on TV. He seems like a fantastic lawyer, and that was one thing to think of him when he's representing Stormy Daniels. But now all of a sudden he is a presidential candidate. So I don't know what to think yet, because now he just seems like an opportunity. That was okay. But TV lawyers are all right. We've been goofing on them already. Well, he was getting some of the reputation that what's her name? What's the famous female lawyer? Anytime there's
Gloria Allred.
Gloria Allred. Yeah, he had some of that vibe going on a little bit with Stormy Daniels. And I was giving him a free pass, though, because look, they're going to be taking down Trump because of his porn star client. But now he's just completely pivoted to being a presidential candidate. So I'm a little skeptical right now of his opportunism. I can't say that word. He was in Iowa. Was that speech in Iowa? Or was he?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
So, yeah, he's running.
Here's what I think.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a couple more things, but go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
All right. Well, I don't necessarily agree with his when they go low, we'll go lower. I know that's not exactly the words he said.
Well, he said fight back.
Yeah, or in the fight fire with fire, we got to play dirty like. Did he say we got to play dirty like him? Them?
No, he just said you got to hit harder.
Okay.
Here's what I think.
I'm not sold on him yet. Is what I meant.
Here's what I think. We can either. I think that what he said is. I agree with it 100%. I think it's. I don't know if Michael Avenatti should run, will run, or whatever is going on there. But I think that we can either do it that way, or we can have 8 years of Trump and then whatever asshole comes after him. I saw that and I was like, that's exactly what we need. And they're already, and the Democrats are already some of them are starting to bag on this guy. Hey, look, here's the way I feel about it, folks. Hey, if you want another Al Gore, John Kerry, you want another John Edwards, another Michael Dukakis, you take your pick.
Okay, I don't think those guys in particular aren't going to happen.
Don't get me wrong, I admire all those guys, but I'm just talking about as a candidate. We can either go that route or we can go what Avenatti said.
All right, well, as I mentioned, I'm not quite sold yet on Avenatti. I'm not going to write him off, but I'm not 100% sure of his motives at the moment.
I'm talking about, I'm not saying that Avenatti should run, but just what he's saying, his message.
Okay.
That we can go that route or we can go have another nightmare like we're in right now. He doesn't say go lower, but he said hit back. And to me, that's the problem.
Okay.
I love what he said.
All right. Like I said, I'm not sold on him yet, but I'm listening.
Yeah. They say the definition of that, what do they call it? It's not the official definition, but just the one that people use in society of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
I call shenanigans on that quote. That quote is so BS and made up. Nobody ever said that.
But it's true, though.
But that's not the definition of insanity.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not that's exactly what I just said. It's not the dictionary definition.
I know. I'm busting you for using a cliche that I don't like.
But it's true, though. And that's the problem. And don't you see? We've been running the same guy for years. And that's, except for Obama, he was the outlier. And to me, it's just sad.
Well, Hillary was not that guy.
I absolutely think she was that guy.
No, she wasn't that guy. She was not John Edwards. She was not Al Gore.
I'm going to just say something that might make a lot of people mad. I think she was probably the worst presidential candidate I've ever seen. She lost the election, despite everything that happened with Russia. She lost an election to Donald Trump. And that's just it's not a bag on all her skills and who she is, but it was just horrible.
All right. Well, we're not going to cry baby over Hillary. We've been doing that for too long.
No, I voted for her. I mean, because I'm not crazy.
All right. Well, let's see what Avenatti's got. He's got a little time to impress me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not sold on him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. So, in terms of the gun issue that's still going around. Remember we played that Australian?
Yes.
That was awesome. So after that, I got a message from our friend Meg there in Australia who said, you got to listen to this other song. So this is called Australia's Deadliest Animals.
All right.
It's by the Van Buren Brothers.
Okay.
And check this out right here.
In Australia, we've got deadly animals aplenty. We've got funnel web spiders who'll murder you and your family. Under every second rock is a redback spider, and they'll kill you just because, I don't know, they're bored or whatever. We've got invisible brown snakes who'll bite you on the foot and you'll be dead in 7 minutes. Just like that, kaput. We've got the world's deadliest creatures all over the place. We've got magpies who'll steal the eyeballs from your face. But at least we don't have AR-15.
Yeah. How awesome is that?
That's fun. That's not the same kind of Australian music I love, but that's cute and funny.
It's hilarious.
Great white sharks who'll ascend from the deep and rip you in.
All right, you get the idea.
That's no rose tattoo. That's no cold chisel, but it's good.
Yeah. Seems like everything, all the art that's being created around the world now is just about how we're just assholes. Which is
Yeah, we are.
which is true.
I can't deny it. I have to laugh about it because we are.
Yeah,
As a country, we are.
if anyone has cool stuff for us like that, just keep sending it to us.
Please do. Mueller Time Podcast on Facebook.
It also makes just pure laziness makes my job a lot easier. Just send me things.
All right.
You can send it to the Facebook page, or if you want to, on Twitter, I'm ERICLEVAI.
And Low Progressive on Twitter. I'm
Yeah.
not going to spell it out. You can find me.
It's low progressive. Yeah. Feel free to hit us up. What time? We got a little time.
We got some time.
So the press seems to finally have caught a clue that maybe we got troubles.
On what? What are you talking about?
On August 16th, most of the major newspapers in this country are going to publish coordinated op-eds on Trump attacking the press.
Oh, wow.
All on the same
I
day.
did read
Yeah.
about this. That's actually happening. That's Thursday this week?
I think so. Yeah.
August 16th, okay.
Yeah. It only took them 5 years, but they finally seem
So-
to have gotten it together.
The press is colluding against Trump.
Yeah, I heard somebody, Ari Fleischer, one of the lowest dirtbags ever. He actually said that. I don't know if you.
No, I think that's what I saw. I saw somebody on Twitter, I don't remember who, complaining that the press is going to collude against Trump.
Yeah, yeah,
But they're allowed to. It's okay. That's what the Second or First Amendment's about.
yeah,
No, not the Second Amendment. That's not what that's about.
yeah. But that's going to be a really great thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Ari Fleischer, one of the part of the Bush
Yeah,
administration.
he was Bush's press secretary, right?
Man, the lowest until Trump came along, the lowest of the low. That administration.
Oh, yeah, I miss those days.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, miss me yet? Well,
We had Obama waiting for us in those days.
I'll never say that at the time I said this is the worst president. Of course, now I ate my words. Yeah, missed that guy. What a.
I don't think is it possible to have a worse president than Trump?
By the way, I don't miss Bush. I just miss anything other than this.
Yeah,
That's a great question.
I think if it's anything worse, that's not a president anymore.
Yeah.
Trump is barely a president.
The truth is we don't have a president.
No.
It's actually a testament to the strength of the federal government that things are running at all.
Well, look, when Russia is telling Trump who he needs to put on his in his cabinet, then who's really the president?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Trump doesn't even know when his chief of staff is firing his his staffers.
One of the things I love about doing this podcast is that we control it, and we don't have I don't have to do Omarosa or anything if I don't want
have to. No, we made it this far in tonight without saying Omarosa, and I'm the one who at fault for bringing her up.
And I'll never play a clip of whose voice either, because I don't want to hear his voice. That's another thing that
We're gonna play his voice one day.
it'll probably happen, but
We're gonna play it when it's over.
That's right.
That's what we're gonna hear from him.
You're absolutely right. We're gonna play it when it's
Play that
over.
proudly.
Yeah, and this with the Omarosa with the I mean, as funny as that tape is, and how, by the way, bizarre that is.
Oh yeah.
That it sounds like crystal clear.
Well, did you hear the recording of her phone call with Trump that she released today?
I heard that as well.
Yeah. Trump is the worst liar ever. Do you believe him? Oh, I know. I really don't love this. Oh, I had no idea. It's like, come on. Really?
I do want to find out, though, who made that recording. Because that...
Omarosa ducked the question on MSNBC today as well. She said, I'm going to let you guess. Leave that up to your imagination, is what she said when asked how the recording was made.
I mean, I've been working in TV and radio, and you have too, for a long time. That it's not a phone. I don't know. but it sounds like crystal clear.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like an iPhone recording to me at all. I don't know how she did it, and she isn't saying.
I mean, that sounds like she was mic'd up.
Yeah.
But where was the other equipment? It doesn't.
Well, she was mic'd up, and well, look, no one else needs to be operating the other equipment. This is the 21st century.
Exactly. Yeah.
She could have had whatever the other half of the device in a bag that was not in the skiff, in the Situation Room.
I also put an article up on the Mueller Time Facebook page about apparently the biggest grifter who's gone totally unnoticed in this administration because of everyone else, which is Wilbur Ross.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were talking about that at Kettle Glazed Donuts the other morning.
That's right.
Yeah.
Per Forbes magazine, Wilbur Ross has stolen over $150 million from investors in his long career. So check out that article. He's done it by just stealing a little bit from every, a million here, a million there. Not a lot to people like us, but to him. And then they totaled it up. It's unbelievable. They said he's a pathological liar.
Okay, that gets back to what I was saying earlier with Manafort. All right, well, if I was going to go steal $1 million once, I'm good. I don't need to steal another $1 million. Well, I'm done. I'm out. I got away with it, and I'm done.
Well, they said this guy, he's like a character from a Dickens novel. He steals Sweet and Lows.
Oh, that's right.
He's that guy. Who's that guy? The guy's in trouble over at CBS right now. Les
Moonves. Oh, yeah.
He did that one time in L.A. He parked his car, he valeted, and he only had $100 bill, and he asked the kid for change.
Oh, no.
A guy, Les Moonves is, I think he's a billionaire, right? Or he's close to it.
He's the head of not just CBS. He's the head of all of Viacom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can afford to tip a valet driver $100.
It was so bad that it got, that got leaked right away to TMZ or whatever because of just how horrible it was.
Yeah, people love telling TMZ when rich people are real stingy.
You want to get anything in or anything on your mind?
I got Omarosa in.
You got Omarosa. Yeah, we'll be there is one more thing I want to get in.
All right.
So we're about 90 days, a little less from the midterms. This is the time right now to go on the website wherever you live and check your voter registration.
Oh, absolutely. If you think you've been registered to vote for years, this is the year to check up on your registration.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know what these people have planned. We know these Russians and Trump, because they lose control of the House and it's over. Okay, it's over. Impeachment or whatever, there's going to be investigation. It's going to be nonstop. Yeah. The presidency is over if they lose control of one house. So we don't know what they have planned. So go on the site. I did it the other day. Maybe you
good?
I'm good to go.
All right. I haven't checked yet. I will check before we record next week, and I'll give you all an update on my voter registration status.
Because the law is that 90 days from the election, the state is not allowed to make changes under any circumstances. So you make sure you're good to go and they can't do anything to you. But if you wait too long and it's a week before, you could have problems.
Yeah, look, any of our listeners, especially in swing states, please check your voter registration now. Do it as soon as you're done listening.
And tell your friends and literally print that thing out and take it with you. Yeah, it's true we live in California where that may not be as much of an issue.
Look, yeah, it's not as likely the voting shenanigans are going to happen here in California. But hey, if you are in Ohio,
right,
if you're in Florida, come on, check it out now.
I just want to overemphasize again, these people are planning something and we don't know what it is. And that's very, very disturbing.
Oh, I have some nightmare scenarios of what it's going to be. And I think we talked a little bit about it on Facebook private message earlier in the week. Well, we know that Russia has hacked and has control of our power grid. And then we learned earlier this week that China is in which system was that?
Oh, they hacked into, was it not the power system?
No.
Oh, they got into the weather system.
Yeah, the National Weather Service. Yeah, we're going to have a nationwide blackout on Election Day this year. That's what I'm afraid of.
Anyway, on that note, this has been Mueller Time.
Oh, come on. I had to get some of my left-wing nut job Alex Jones stuff in.
No,
there you go. That's what I had to get in for the end of it.
I'm an entertainer. I'm just being funny.
Oh, there's nothing funny about the Russian blackout in America on Election Day 2018.
So you can follow me on Twitter at ERICLEVAI or Instagram or whatever.
And I'm Low Progressive on Twitter. Find me there.
Right. Also, if you could please leave us a review. Really appreciate you guys doing that on iTunes or wherever you listen. Drop us a line. Otherwise, we'll catch you next week.
Thanks for tuning in.